Shane, we have got a video for you guys today on something that you've been waiting for ages. We're talking about a 2-barrel sniper update on a Valiant. We did one years and years ago on a Slant in a VC.
Yeah, well this one's a Hemi.
Yes.
So.
But we've had nothing but questions since then, and it's taken us a while to get here. But we finally popped on another 2-barrel system on this VIP from South Australia, and it's the Rochester style one that we've got on this.
Rochester Carter. So for the GM guys, Rochester. For the Chrysler guys, Carter. So, but this is a Hemi, but not as Americans know a Hemi. This is an Australian Hemi, which is a 2.456 cylinder.
Yeah.
So
again, usually we fit the snipers and it's more about increasing a little bit of horsepower, and yes, we've got a little bit of extra horsepower out of the 2-barrel sniper, but in this case it's more about the drivability of the car. So we're putting a little bit of modern technology into the old school to make it ease of starting, ease of driving. You just get in there, you prime the system, turn the key and you drive.
That's it.
Now, Shane's had to do, like usual, with all the sniper systems, one of the big questions we get asked is, can I run my original fuel lines? I'll let Shane go into that for you.
No, Holley are pretty specific. You have to actually run 3/8 fuel lines for their systems, even if it's a 2-barrel. It's just how they work the system. So obviously they have one pump to suit all, so anything that needs to be returned in the same size, so there's no back pressure as it goes back to the tank. And they're pretty specific. If you don't follow the instructions, you'll have problems. If you deadhead the system, yes, you can run it deadhead. So which deadhead means you lock off the return, you don't have a return. But what it does is it creates overheating problems for your fuel pump when you're stuck in traffic, and those fuel pumps get quite hot, and that's when they start to become really noisy.
Not something we would recommend doing.
No.
So you've run, what have we got? We've got 3/8 stainless lines from
the fuel tank
to the system.
Yep.
And then we've got 3/8 stainless lines back to the tank.
Yes.
With the Holley provided pump that was in their full kit.
Yeah.
Not an in-tank pump this time round. Now, Holley's system, you've got really sensitive bit of kit here. So we're talking when you've got your traditional carburetor, it can hide a whole heap of issues with your car, and it'll still run all right. So, but because you've got really sensitive kit here with the Holley technology and their computer, anything from wrong pressures from your fuel pump, an electrical fault, which this car had because the alternator wasn't charging right, so you've got fluctuations with your voltage,
exhaust leaks, manifold leaks,
vacuum leaks, anything like that, the Holley's going to be really sensitive about it and really emphasize it. So quite often we'll get a car in, and yes, it's running a bit rough, it's okay to drive and the client wants that drivability, but once we get stuck into it, we also need to fix wiring issues like in this case, and this car's also got a vacuum leak that we also have to address.
Yeah, as well as a lot of people, they don't realise that their car's running rough. They just assume that that's a big cam or something like that. But when you've got a constant vacuum leak from your booster, that can create a lot of problems, especially with an engine like this. So your V8 engine shares 2 cylinders off a vacuum port while it's running, where a 6-cylinder shares 1 port. So usually it's the rearward port of the intake manifold. In this case, it's number 6 cylinder. So when you pull the plugs out, you'll notice that at idle, number 6 spark plug is quite white in colour. So that's usually an indication that that's got a vacuum leak in that port. So this car brakes still quite nicely, but when you stop the car, you turn it off and you just put your foot on the brake, you can just hear a constant hiss until all the vacuum is gone out of the booster. So there's a leak in there somewhere. So that's going to have to be addressed before we do any proper tuning in the car, because otherwise it's it's just never going to run 100%.
It'll become a problem. The Holley will learn it out for a certain degree, but it'll become a problem, and it'll give him a different drive every time he drives it, and that's not what we want. The whole point of the Holley is to give you that nice, consistent, reliable drivability and better fuel efficiency, which these do. Now, a lot of people turn around and say, well, how much horsepower is this going to support? Is this going to be right for my 6-cylinder, or is this going to be too much for my 4-cylinder? Because a lot of the guys that are running Datsuns or Galants like Alan, they want a little bit of the fuel injection too. So these, the 2-barrel ones, they support up to 350 horsepower.
Yeah. And they do give you a recommendation that to specify what sort of cubic capacity that your cars have. I usually say if you've got a 4-cylinder car, the single barrel unit usually supports up to 175 horsepower. If your engine's making more than that, well, obviously then you need a 2-barrel unit. But look, they're developing new stuff all the time, so it's just a matter of waiting until they develop something that say is a variable carburetor, like they do for the Quadrajet, as an example. So the Quadrajet one that they make is a variable system, which is really great for street performance as well as fuel economy.
So if you've even got like a really mild 308 that's got a 2-barrel on it from factory, and it's not making huge amounts of horsepower, but you still want that little bit of modern fuel injection and drivability, then one of these 2-barrel units could be the go.
Well, even for a 308, even though a 308 is a bigger engine, it supports 350 horsepower.
So you're right with one of the smaller units. If you're not chasing huge amounts of power, where we would obviously recommend something like the Super Sniper, these 2-barrel units are great. And again, if you've got a smaller car, you can go down to the single barrel. You just need to sometimes change how they bolt on and run an adapter plate.
Yeah, so a lot of the time you have to modify these things to fit. Like as an example, this one here didn't suit the Chrysler throttle linkage. So what we had to do is we had to remove the hardened throttle plate off the Chrysler 2-barrel. And because it's a hardened plate, you can't drill it. So what we've done is we've put screws in around it to hold the plate in position, so it won't move around. And that'll work just quite fine. So as it works on this, but a lot of people like to weld to it. I'm not a real big fan of welding to an electrical component, really. So
no.
Throttle linkages, I probably would advise people not to do that. Their carby plate is a mild steel, so you can quite easily screw through it and attach something that way, or find another way, whatever way suits your application or how you want to do it yourself.
Yeah, so because they're a multi-fit, you will have to modify certain things to get them to fit onto your application. Now, we've got not just this 2-barrel Sniper going on, but we've got a Slant 6 that we're building here that's heading off to Northern Territory soon, and that's got the other Holley 2-barrel Sniper system, which is more like the traditional.
It's like a Holley 350 base, so or like a Ford base, like 302 Cleveland. So
we won't be able to bring you the footage of that motor in the car, but we will be doing an engine dyno on that car with the Sniper fitted. So that'll be coming up a little bit later, probably within the month or two. And we've had this car out and we've done a preliminary drive on it already to try and get that Holley to learn a little bit and make sure that we've got most of the gremlins out again, other than that brake booster. And how do you think it drives now as compared to the original carburetor?
Well, it drives beautiful. It's smooth. That's one thing that people notice when you go the Sniper. It's a lot smoother. Obviously, it makes more power. So it's a unit to support 350 horsepower. So, and because it's metering the fuel a lot better than a carburetor can, and carters aren't really great for getting that fuel meterage 100%. So they tend to have lean spots and they have dramas. So this, well, when the car came here, as an example, when the VIP came here, I first took it for a small drive in the street and around the block basically.
We did a blocking.
Yeah. And the whole time I drove it, it had flat spots, it had issues. So, look, they could have been tuned and fixed. But we'd already got a Holley Sniper, so what was the point of doing that? So we just fitted the Holley Sniper, and because we were going to do it anyway. And it's a chalk and cheese compared to the way they drive. You can never compare a carbureted car to a fuel injected car because they're always going to be better in their smoothness. So and easy to start.
I have noticed, because I went for you with the initial drive and made sure that I keep an eye on the gauges and everything as we're going, that it is very, very smooth drive. It's got power where it needs to be, and you've adjusted a little bit of the timing since then as well.
Yeah, it had way too much timing, like way too much timing. No wonder, look, when I didn't really check the timing, I left everything sort of as it was. It's still got points ignition. So there's no electronic ignition, it's just points. So nothing wrong with points. Preferably I don't like points, I'd rather have electronic ignition, but this customer wants to keep his points, so we're keeping the points. But you need to not change anything, you need to keep everything as it was, put the EFI on it and take it for a test drive. But I just noticed that the engine, it pulled smoothly, but it was a little bit flat. So I just put the timer light on it, looked at it and went, wow, it's got 15 degrees of initial timer. That's way too much timing.
Too much for one of these.
So we pulled the timing out, and straight away took it for a drive at 5 degrees initial, and it's great. It's
and of course, the Holley is relearning for all of that already.
Yeah.
So great system. I'm guessing Mark's going to be very happy with it when he does get it back.
I'm guessing it's a definite.
It's a definite.
He'll be happy, yeah.
So, unfortunately, Mark, we're going to cruise around in your car a little bit longer, fix the other couple of things that you wanted us to fix.
Yeah.
And our next video on the Sniper should probably be the other 2-barrel unit that we'll have fitted to the Slant. So.
Also, too, the Holley 2-barrel unit, because the injectors are exposed, they do make a little bit of a ticking noise, and you notice it more in an engine like this that's so stock and so quiet. You'll just hear the
injectors opening
pulsing.
and closing.
Yeah, you hear them pulsing. So it is what it is. So you just got to sort of live with that.
It's something that you get used to. But for any of you guys that have got your cars in underground garages and you're sick of starting them in the morning and it's setting off the O2 sensors for pollution because it's so rich, this is definitely the way to go. Because you jump in, you don't have to worry about
warming it up.
Pumping the throttle 4 times to bring that petrol up and cranking it over.
Start it and go.
That's it.
That's it. No warming up.
Simple.
Yeah.
So we'll catch you in the next video. Hopefully when we've got the Slant 6 on the engine dyno, or we've got the other 2-barrel Sniper system on that.
Well, it won't be the next video. There'll be plenty of videos between that. But
you reckon?
Yeah.
Well, you better hurry up.
Because I still haven't painted it.
You better hurry up. We'll figure out.
Yeah, I've got a lot of engines to paint.
Yeah,
so.
it's all right. You're not under
I've got a 413 I've got to paint first.
Okay, it's all right. It's all right. We'll get there soon.
So.
If you like this video, don't forget to click like and leave a comment. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe and click the notification bell. If you like the t-shirts that you see the crew wearing, there's a link in the description below where you can grab some for yourself. Thanks for watching.